Welcome to our reading and writing skills video presentation. Our lesson for today is all about formulating evaluative statements. Today, you're going to formulate evaluative statement about the text read, particularly formulating assertions about the content and properties of a text read and formulating counterclaims in response to the claims made in the text read. Suppose your parents give you an option of the gift you want to receive on your graduation day. So this is for you to be motivated to maintain your standing in the class. So your choices are illustrated below. You have cell phone or gadget, plane ticket abroad, 20,000 cash, and 2 hours shopping spree. From the choices there, which will you choose and why? If you were your parents, what do you think would they tell you from your choice? So list down the possible statements you have from them. So now, how did you choose your prepared graduation gift? What did you notice with the statements you have written? For sure, you have your own basis and consideration for your own choice. In the situation above, you may have evaluated each option for you to come up with the best one. At the same time, you may have considered your needs and interests, as well as the usefulness and the value of each offer. The same rule applies when you evaluate any reading text. You also need to consider your basis as evidence in order to validate or verify your assertions or claims about what you read. For the second question, your parents may have given you evaluative statements that express their assessment about the choice you made. From the evaluative statements you have given a while ago, now, what is an evaluative statement? It is a statement that states one's sound judgment about something through writing, which is supported by reasons and evidences. It also presents the strengths and weaknesses of something based on a set of criteria which needs to be factual, substantial, and unbiased. Now, how to formulate an evaluative statement? So to formulate an evaluative statement, one needs to read the entered text carefully and critically to understand and to check for possible fallacies in the argument presented by the writer. So just like any other writing, the formulation of the evaluative statements is done in the same way, except that the statement is about your own judgment of the text content and properties. You may formulate your evaluative statements in 2 ways, such as formulating assertions and counterclaims. Meanwhile, we will be formulating meaningful counterclaims at the second part of our lesson. So the question now is, how are you going to form evaluative statements? It's very simple. Just remember the following pointers. 1. Begin with the positives before you point out the negatives. Remember that your evaluative statement should be factual, substantial, and unbiased. When giving your negative feedback, it should not sound insulting on the part of the evaluatee, so one who is evaluated. Second, suggest a solution or suggestions on how to improve the written material being evaluated and provide justification how this will work. For the third one, keep your feedback concise and precise. Next, be careful in giving your feedback. Since evaluations pass judgment on the works of authors, they must be written and expressed with care and much diligence. So take a look at the given example here. So we have situation, a student was tasked to compose a poem. So that would express his thoughts and feelings about various events around him. So after a while, he submitted it to his teacher before the set of deadline. So as the teacher evaluated his output, she was impressed about the way the student wrote his concrete poem, using the shape of a dab as the poem structure to help the readers to easily understand the meaning of his writing. Surprisingly, he chose a theme about the 2019 coronavirus disease that gives hope to the readers who may be affected by the pandemic. So in addition to this, a good lexical and grammatical arrangement of words were evidently shown. Figurative language and imagery were also used. However, the teacher found out that the poem was written in forced rhyme, so that may have caused him to use inappropriate words. Since the teacher wanted to improve the writing skill of the student, she then suggested to consider the use of appropriate language over rhyme to better connect with the audience. Let's take a look at the evaluation in the given situation. So you, referring to the writer, composed an impressive poem. So it has a good physical and grammatical arrangement of words. So that enhanced the reader's overall experience. So another good thing is that your chosen theme is very timely. So that gives hope to the readers in this time of pandemic. So when it comes to the elements of poetry, you use figurative language and imagery. So that added spice to the overall quality of your composition. So these literary devices stir up and startle the reader's imagination. So furthermore, the choice of writing a concrete poetry, so a poetry which visual appearance matches the topic of the poem with a dab as the shape of the poem structure contributes a lot in understanding the meaning of the poem. So how will you explain that? The evaluation begins with an evaluative statement that says you, so referring to the writer, to compose an impressive poem. So it is followed by giving a positive feedback to the writer, specifying the strengths of the poem. So however, the rhyme of your writing is first. So it seems that the words were chosen for the sake of having a rhyming effect. So that somehow affects the emotional connection between the reader and the poem itself. So another explanation for that. So in the second paragraph, the evaluator mentioned about the weaknesses she saw in the writing. So to improve your work, you should be careful in choosing the appropriate words to be used to best express the meaning and emotions you would like the readers to understand and feel. So it should be considered over the rhyme of the poem. So remember, a poem may or may not have a rhyme, but if you choose to have one, the meaning and the emotional appeal of the poem should not be compromised. So in this way, you can have a good connection with the readers and would therefore make them appreciate your poem more. So finally, a suggestion was given to the writer at the third paragraph for the improvement of the poem. Let us discuss assertion and its types. A good critical reader does not only understand the meaning of a reading material, but also logically evaluates whether the claims of the writer are true or false. So assertions serve as primary way for the readers to consider and passively agree with the claims presented by the writer. So in an expository writing. So also, assertions or declarative sentences that give one's belief about something else as if it is true, though it may not be. So it is expressed as an argument. So usually, these assertions contain languages that express evaluation, such as useful, significant, important, insightful, detailed, up-to-date, comprehensive, practical, impressive, and others. For example, you were asked to answer the question, do you believe education should continue regardless of the situation we are facing right now? And you would give me your opinion or argument about it. Afterwards, you would make an assertion whether you agree or disagree with the issue. Thus, take a stand and support it with your reasons. Now, so there are 4 types of assertion, which are classified according to the degree of certainty they can be judged as true or false. The first type, fact. It is a statement that can be proven objectively by direct experience, testimonies of witnesses, verified observations, or the results of a research. Example, according to the experts, seawater contains high amounts of minerals such as sodium, chloride, sulfate, magnesium, and calcium. So the first example sentence is classified as a fact since the mineral contents of seawater can be tested and proven through experiments and research tests. Second, convention. It is a way in which something is done similar to traditions and norms. Its truthfulness can be verified only by reference to historical precedents, laws, rules, usage, and customs. Something to note about convention is that they may sound factual due to their being derived from customs, but because they are socially accepted ways of doing things, they cannot be verified objectively by measurements. Example, seawater is classified as a heterogeneous and homogeneous mixture. So the second sample sentence is a convention because the classification of seawater is based on the classification system made by scientists and it is acceptable to the scientific community. The third one, opinion. It is a statement based on facts, but it is difficult to objectively verify because of the uncertainty of producing satisfactory proofs of soundness. Opinions result from ambiguities. The more ambiguous is a statement, the more difficult it is to verify. Thus, they are open to disputes. Example, swimming in seawater is the best activity to refresh and relax your mind, body, and soul. So the third example sentence is an opinion since the claim is difficult to prove. The truthfulness of the claim may be true to some, but not to others. The last one, preference. It states a personal choice on which the writer is under no obligation to support or prove the truthfulness of the statement. They are subjective and cannot be objectively proven or logically attacked. Example, I love to make frequent trips to places with seawater than those without it. So the last sentence sample is a preference because it expresses the personal choice of the writer to places with seawater over those places without it. Any questions so far for formulating assertion and claims? If not, so let's proceed to formulating counterclaims. I have an activity in here, so jumbled letters that I want you to arrange to come up with a sensible word. So these are the letters. C-U-N-C-M-A-T-E-C-R-L-I. So, this is the clue. It is the opposite of an opposing argument. Did you get the answer? What do you think is that word? Who can guess? Yes, that's right. That is counterclaim. Now, let's proceed to formulating counterclaims. So to be an effective critical thinker, it is not enough just to be able to identify claims and assertions. The ability to analyze an argument is essential to understanding the text more deeply, but understanding a claim is not the only facet of the argument. You must also learn how to analyze the counterclaims and evidence provided by the text. Being able to recognize and formulate counterclaims in reaction to an argument is a characteristic of a good critical reader. So let's formulate counterclaims. What are counterclaims? Counterclaims are claims made to rebut a previous claim. So to rebut means to contradict someone's statement through a formal argument. So they provide a contrasting perspective to the main argument. To be able to locate counterclaims to an argument, remember the following. First, show competence and familiarity with the writer's topic. Second, examine different perspectives and not just passively accepting the writer's claim. Third, consider the topic and make sure you are willing to engage different viewpoints from your own. Then lastly, clarify your personal position on the topic. Now, I'll be giving you tips on making counterclaims. First, understand the point of the claim. Second, answer the claim point by point. Next, avoid using logical analysis. Avoid using religion unless it is involved. And lastly, politely express your point or idea. Any questions so far? Is our lesson clear? So if not, so let's proceed to our activity. Identify what are the terms being referred to in the following statements. Number 1, this generally refers to one's judgment and generalizations about the text you have read. What do you think is that? That's right, that is evaluative statement. Next, number 2. It is a statement that can be proven objectively by direct experience, testimonies of witness, verified observations, or the results of the research. What do you think is that? Fact! That's right. That's right. It is a statement that asserts facts based on one's understanding about a particular topic or issue. Guess what's that? Claim, yes, that's right. The fourth one. This statement statement used to express a personal choice of the writer. Yes, that's preference. Very good. The last one. It is the statement that contradicts one's claim, and it is usually proven and supported by both reasons and evidences. Yes, counterclaim. That's right. Very good. You really understood our lesson for today, huh? Now, so let's proceed to the last activity. Let us try to apply your learnings on formulating evaluative statements. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. Form an evaluative statement for every given text and label it whether positive or negative. So depending on the focus of the evaluation. For example, if you are not so smart, you should try to be teacher. So what would be your evaluative statement there? So the statement is very discriminatory against those with average intelligence and teachers in general. Now, you try the following. Number 1, in this time of the pandemic, people should give all the blame to the government for the insufficient assistance given to them. Number 2, every person has something to contribute to winning the battle against COVID-19. 3, if you got infected by the coronavirus, you should not lose hope. Instead, be positive about it. The 4th one, if you're a student with no internet connection at home, you better not enroll for this school year while we are in these trying times. And lastly, when you go out of your house to buy essential things, you must follow the minimum health protocols like social distancing, wearing a face mask, using alcohol or sanitizer, and washing your hands. Now, so I'll give you 10 minutes to answer those statements. So try to evaluate whether the statement is negative or positive. And if you can give your reason, much better. That's all for today, class. See you next time. This is once again, this is Amelita Nosca. Happy learnings!